get started, I just want to welcome everyone for being here today. And I just want everybody to know kind of what I stated earlier. This really took a community to get this done. You know, we have a few people from the lowrider community and from businesses up here who gave lots of money of in-kind donations to make this a reality. But I just really want to extend my gratitude, my thanks to each and every one of you that had your small part in making this a reality. You know, showing up to the task force meetings, joining us at car shows, participating in that video that some of you have seen, actually coming up with the script for that video. There were just so many elements to this, and when we were working on trying to identify everybody who's participated, we all know that we probably forgot some folks, right? So we just want you to know that please, if we did, let us know so we can make sure to give you the credit that you deserve. So with that, I'm just going to give my remarks and then I'll introduce other speakers to come up. So as a nation and our city calls for community-based policing, Albuquerque is on the forefront of that movement. The APD Youth Leadership Program is community-based policing at its finest. Today you will hear from community leaders, APD, businesses, but most importantly, the community and how this program has been instrumental in bridging the gap between law enforcement and the community. I am proud and honored to be part of this remarkable undertaking. This movement that has snowballed, it started when I was approached by House, Mr. Lorenzo Otero, several years back. His concern was that cruising was not being allowed on Central. After some research, I discovered that we actually had an ordinance in place that placed restrictions on cruising. I approached Councilor Peña to partner with me to establish a task force with all the stakeholders, and after several meetings, discussion, we were able to repeal that ordinance. It was passed by all my colleagues on City Council and then later signed by Mayor Keller. This brought a new interest in the lowrider community that had already been deeply ingrained in our history in Albuquerque and an important part of our Hispanic culture. It was nothing that we weren't already doing. But the perception seemed to change, and people began to look at lowriders in downtown in a new light. There are now lowriders on display at the airport, commercials promoting New Mexico featuring lowriders, and requests wanting people to have lowriders do drive-bys for their celebrations, graduations, parties during this pandemic. Even Old Town tourists taking pictures to take home with them to show off the lowriders they had seen parked at the plaza. My office has received calls from city councilors, city councilor in particular from National City in California, wanting to know how to do similar work there. And just yesterday, a call from a firefighter in Socorro wanting to learn more about how to establish their own lowrider program. Around the same time, the Southwest PRT, which translates into the Proactive Response Team, made up of a handful of officers, approached me and said they wanted to work harder to bridge the gap between community and law enforcement. They proceeded to ask me what I thought of building an APD lowrider and to work with the lowrider community, youth, and businesses. I said not only yes, but heck yes. I didn't quite say that, but yeah. So the APD lowrider, as I stated, is a community policing at its finest. And as you hear from other speakers, you will learn more about how it has impacted relationships between law enforcement and the community, from APD to how the entire department, not just the Southwest PRT, but the entire department, as you can see here today, came together to make this a reality. From the youth from West Mesa who helped maintenance of the car, changing oils, to the art contest for youth and how they contributed to the car, how businesses provided in-kind parts and labor, and how they also gave youth scholarships, even a special tribute to autism awareness. So although we're unveiling a cool car today, this is really about how a handful of officers came together to change how the community views law enforcement. Community policing is not a substitute for law enforcement. Community policing is a state of mind which occurs when an officer or officers realizes that he or she has the ability to change a situation by their actions. And boy, did they do that. So thank you, thank you. With that, we will move on to our next speaker. And before I introduce him, I just want to say that actually the Southwest Area Command, obviously that's the area that I represent. Long before I was in office, we were doing a lot of community work. Our commander at the time, during that time was Commander Medina, and he was really, even before all this has happened, the Southwest Area Command has always put an emphasis on community policing and how we work with law enforcement in the area. And now I'm just really proud to say that our mayor really hired a great guy when he hired Chief Medina. So Chief Medina.
Thank you, Councilor, and thank you, everybody, for having us here today. And this is a great moment. This is about the Albuquerque Police Department moving forward and understanding the community. For me, it was easy. My brother grew me up around lowriders. He has a 64 ragtop, which he still won't sell me. But I understood it. I understood the culture. He loved to cruise. He loved to participate. And this is about understanding. And when we talk about our ambassador program, it's about understanding and working with the community and bridging those communication gaps to ensure that we're still all on the same page. So there is no conflict between cruising and the police department. We could work hand in hand together to ensure that we represent the community and that the community is there alongside us to ensure that we move forward. So this is a great day. There's a lot of great work, and there's people who deserve a lot more credit for everything that happened. The PRT team from the Southwest, Commander Espinosa and his people for all that they did. But I just want to thank everybody for being here today. Thank you.
Okay, and with that, somebody who, when you're in office and you have a mayor, I've been doing this work for such a long time, sometimes you run into some challenges, but I just want to say that, this gentleman's been nothing more than helpful and really engaged in part of the process and wanting to do anything he can to make sure that this became a reality. Mayor Tim Keller.
Thanks so much, Councilor. And this is just such a festive morning in our city, not only for this project and for our police department and our community, but of course, as we wake up sort of after the sleep of COVID, we get to be with our families out, and sometimes masked, sometimes not. We're all in transition, and so it is just a really special time. And what better way to celebrate with some awesome low riding? So we're excited for the summer and for cruising because it's obviously, as Councilor said, it's something that we want to celebrate as a city. And as a kid, I was born and raised here, and I remember some really good times, especially in high school and college, hanging out downtown at the different, whether it was bars or the Blue Hotel and things, and watching the cruising scene. And just thinking how special and how lucky Albuquerque is to have that. And when I got this job, it was one of my favorite memories ever. I don't even remember what event it was, but early on, I don't even remember what event it was, but Councilor Peña just shows up in her lowrider. And I'm like, can I have a ride? And so we rode around, and we ended up showing up at Civic Plaza, I think, to celebrate the Cruising Task Force, actually is what it was for. And I was just like thinking how grateful I am that the voters gave me the chance to be mayor of Albuquerque, a city that is so special, that it celebrates cruising and lowrider culture. And also because, for us, it's a quintessential intersection of fascinating parts of our city's story, right? We know the strong cultural connection to our Hispanic culture, our Chicano culture, but also to Route 66. And to cruising culture that was, just as akin for my parents who used to cruise on Route 66, even for me growing up cruising on Route 66. single in high school looking for companionship. So, yeah, we've all been there. So anyway, for us as a city, so I want to continue to just support and celebrate that connection, and of course now with public safety. And I think it's awesome because what people forget is, most of APD is actually from New Mexico, including our chief. And so we all grew up here too, and we grew up here together, and we have friends and families all over the city with all sorts of different connections and hobbies and components of our city that we love. And so there are plenty of APD officers who love cruising too and grew up with cruising. So for us, this is a way to connect all that together under that community policing umbrella, but also to engage the youth. As Councilor's going to share and others are going to share, this was really an important part of introducing a new generation, both to the concept of community policing, that we're all in this together as one Albuquerque, as one Burque, and also for them to get introduced to cruising and to the actual vehicles. And so we're going to continue to work on this. We've got the Route 66 Center coming up too, which is going to be a showpiece for some of our best cars in the state and in the country. And if you didn't know, when we put lowriders in the airport, it was, I remember the airport came to me and they're like, the mayor's never going to agree to this, and they're like, can we put some lowriders in the airport? And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And actually it worked out great. It won internationally the #1 airport art display in the entire world was the lowrider display. That is awesome. So with that, I'll hand it back over to our counselor, but I do want us all to take a moment because usually at these events, the woman who's in charge and put it all together doesn't quite get the recognition, and I just want to be really clear. All of this is because of Klarissa Peña. Councilor Peña, thank you so much for all you do for our city, for the community, and for our youth. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I move on to our counselors, because this has been a city project, I'm actually going to move on to the county commission, because when I'm talking about making sure that we accomplish all these things together, again, we don't do these things in isolation of each other. We partner and we work together and we communicate. So the next person I want to introduce is that when we were talking about this and how we unveil it and how we really send the message out there in the community about that it's not just about restoring an APD lowrider for APD. This was about how community came together. So we were wanting to do kind of a cute little message on how to relay that and what it's taking. And so with that, I reached out to Commissioner Quesada and to his wife Charisse, my policy analyst at the time, and Charisse wrote the script and Stephen directed it. So if you've had an opportunity to see that video, it is so cool. And I just want to thank Commissioner Quesada. Commissioner Quesada, will you come up?
Thank you, Councilor. Thank you, Mayor. For me, this project, I grew up on the bottom of Pat Hurley, bro. I wasn't going to be a commissioner. I wasn't going to be any of those things. I just wanted to be a comedian, and I was very fortunate enough to have a career as a stand-up comic. But as a stand-up comic, what I do is I kind of make fun of what unites us all, what makes us all one race, right? One human race is what we are. And now we're living in a time where people are trying to find excuses to separate us. But today is not that day. Amen. Today is the day that we show how we can unite each other, right? Because everybody's in this game. We are the village of Albuquerque and Bernalillo County. And if we can't find reasons to bring ourselves together, then we're truly lost. And so when they approached me on this project and doing the film for it to promote it, I'm 100% in. I had a '76 Monte Carlo that I had to sell because I had to raise three daughters. Now my youngest daughter's out, and I'm looking for a fleet line, just so you guys know, because I don't have to spend money on three daughters, because 3 daughters are very expensive, bro. Just so you know. And so, I can't wait to get my car, and so I can be out on Sunday with all of you, cruising up and down Central. Let everybody know that it's not a status thing, it's not a different thing, it's a us thing, it's a united thing. And I can't wait to be out there with you, and I can't wait to see this lowrider behind me. I'd like to thank everybody involved. I'd like to make sure, and I want to be a part of how we even do bigger and better projects and more inclusive, and make sure that we bring this community together so we're successful. That's how you do it, all right? This mayor was the first mayor to call me when he became mayor, and I don't like to talk bad about people, but the other mayor never even gave me a call. This man's a uniter. He knows how to bring people together. He knew the city and the county need to be working together so we can be successful. So with that said, I'm gonna get off the mic because I'm gonna start telling jokes, bro, and then we're really in trouble, all right? Thank you all lowriders for showing up, bro. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Commissioner. So with that, I just want to first start off with saying that I want to thank the entire council. Obviously, it takes votes to make this happen. I can't do it by myself. So my colleagues on council have come together to make this also a reality by supporting the efforts. And again, as I mentioned, Councilor Benton was initially one who signed on to establish the task force. And then I want to mention somebody who couldn't be here today because she's actually doing another project in her district, and that's Councilor Bassan. She's been amazing and she's really helpful, and we're actually in her district. So thank you for allowing us to be here, Councilor Bassan. And with that, I'd like to introduce our council president, Ms. Cynthia Borrego. She's just doing a phenomenal job. We're working on the budget right now, and we're putting in money to expand this lowrider program, and she's totally supportive. So thank you, Madam President.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Councilor Peña, for doing this. I just have to tell you guys, I grew up in Espanola till I was 17, and I had 3 brothers, and cars was the thing, and it still is. And you know, growing up in a town where we were the butt of the jokes for New Mexico, you grow up wondering, like, you know, is our culture okay? Are we really, you know, part of this community? And then I moved to Albuquerque to go to UNM at like 17, and I found lowriders. It was like great. It was like, oh, cool. So this is good. You know, we're good. And so then, you know, you never think, oh, someday you're going to be on the city council, right? You never think, oh, wow. And then this is going to be a thing that continues because it's a way of relating people to other cultures, and understanding each other's diversity and each other's cultures is so important, and that's what makes us a community. And I do want to recognize our mayor because he has worked hard to, you know, make sure that people, you know, the other day I was somewhere and somebody said something about Anglo, and I said, you know what, there's no such thing as Anglo. There's German, there's Italian, there's Irish, and I just went on the list and they were like, oh yeah, you're right. You know, bringing people together, and I want to say that, you know, we are so blessed to have Route 66, the mother road of our United States, going right through Albuquerque. Let's continue to appreciate these lowriders, and thank you, Councilor Peña. She's been all things cars. And it's been great to be able to, a little girl from Espanola come here and say, hey, we are good. You know, this is part of who we are, and let's appreciate it. And let's appreciate everyone and everybody's cultures in Albuquerque. That's what makes us who we are. Thank you all. I just came from Councilor Bassan's etching event also, and so if you're not doing anything this afternoon, go out there to Paseo at Target and have your cars etched. It's really important. Thank you all.
Thank you, Madam President. So the next person, she's new to the council, but it seems like she's been a partner and an ally and a strong supporter of the community forever. So with that, I'd like to introduce Councilor Sena. I really appreciate the work she does.
Thank you, Councilor Peña. I'm really here to support her effort and the effort of our Southwest PRT and overall community on this event. I was actually a little worried coming here, not so much because of the event, but because my husband's first car was a 1964 Chevy Impala. And when he came to Albuquerque, he ended up selling it because he actually kept getting pulled over for cruising. And so he's been telling me he's been really itching for another car, and so I'm worried that my car will get booted from the garage. So I know that he's here, you know, checking out the cars, so if you do see him, maybe shy him the other way. But no, I just want to say thank you again. You know, lowriders, cars, and cruising is so ingrained into Albuquerque that when he told me that was his first car, I was like, oh, that's awesome. You know, I didn't really think anything of it because it was so, you know, uniquely Albuquerque. And it's something that I grew up with as well. Even from the foothills onto the west side, it's just so much of our culture and of New Mexico, and it's something that I'm very proud to share when I'm talking with my family and sharing the unique cultures of Albuquerque. So thank you for this event, and also thank you to our Southwest PRT. I got to do a great ride-along with Sergeant Middleton and Officer Candelaria, and the bond that they have and shared with community and with our youth is just really great to see. That's really what we want to see in community policing. When we're going to community centers, giving out stuffed animals, and although they look really tough, they don't look so tough when they're carrying a giant bag of stuffed animals, giving them to kids. And so I just want to thank again to Sergeant Middleton, to his officers, Commander Espinosa, and again to Councilor Peña for this event. I just so appreciate her including me in this community event, so thank you.
So thank you, I appreciate it. So I think what I'm gonna do now is that we still have a bit of a presentation. We really wanna recognize, and we're gonna bring them up, and we have awards for everyone. And everyone who's spoken so far, we have an award and we have a t-shirt for you. But the PRT staff is not letting me pass those out until we unveil this car. So with that, so as we unveil the car, I'm gonna ask the Southwest PRT to come up. And then if you could just be patient with us as we congratulate everybody who's 99% of the people who have participated in making this car a reality. So what do we want to do, gentlemen? Commander?
If we could get everybody that's sitting up here on this side to come and take a piece of the cloth. Luis, if you could do us a countdown when we're all ready.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So what does everyone think? It's pretty darn amazing, man. Trying to keep that under wraps was pretty difficult. So with that, I think I'm going to ask my staff, Margarita, thank you for Commissioner allowing you to volunteer here. Thank you, Margarita, for being here. Luis with the West Central Community Development Group, thank you for being here and volunteering and helping organize today's event. So with that, I think, is everyone back at their seat? Are we back? Okay. Well, with that, I just want to say that this group of gentlemen that are standing behind me, we're excluding someone who since retired and moved to Arizona, Miss Stella Candelaria, who is an amazing individual. She's actually in the film as well. But these guys behind me are the ones that really wanted to go up above and beyond their job to make a difference and create change in their community. And I just really want to thank from the bottom of my heart. They're all family to me now. Commander Espinosa. Middleton. Josh. Jason. And Gabe. And so with that, I think they have the list of everyone. I am going to let them take over from here, and they will say a few words, and they will recognize the people that need recognition. So with that, who wants to take over? All you guys?
Thanks, Counselor. Appreciate it. I just want to say a couple words before we start recognizing. there's too many people to thank individually that were involved in this, from the artists to the students, mechanics, lowrider clubs, the counselor, Chief Medina. A couple years ago, I approached him after a brief conversation, or a lengthy conversation with Sergeant Middleton about doing this project, and I kind of went in with sweaty palms to his office and said, hey, we're thinking about doing a youth lowrider in the Southwest. And like he said earlier, he didn't even hesitate. He's like, yeah, I'm good with that. I think it'll be good. And 2 years later, we end up with this. And you know, that being said, I want to make sure that we don't forget what brought this. This is a symbol of bringing the community together, and that's what it's about. You know, making sure that we all come together, because we're all in this together. And I'll close my piece by saying a quote from Sir Robert Peel. He was the original founder of modern policing, and this was a long time ago. He said, the police are the public and the public are the police. And I think that this project and this vehicle is a symbol to that direct quote. And I just want to say that I couldn't be happier, and the way Larry and his guys came. I'm going to get emotional here, so I'm going to stop talking. But thank you guys for everything. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I love all of you. Thank you.
Good morning. First of all, thank you. This is the community's car. We are lucky enough as police officers to put our logo on it. The three individuals up here, to the hundreds of other people that were involved in this is your car. This is for the youth. This is you know, we're always asked, what is community policing? What is it to you? I always ask my guys, what can we do to connect with the community? And Officer Candelaria and Officer Deathridge said, let's do a lowrider. And I'm like, that's never gonna happen. You kind of already heard the stories, but this thing has bridged gaps that just blow my mind. People, young kids who are afraid of the police because we might have had to arrest their parents in the past, or they hear stories that they hear police are bad, we get to go, and now we get to work with them every single day. This car is dedicated to the artist, the art contest winner, Kaylin. That's her artwork on the front. We got the young lady in the back, her artwork's on the driver's side rear. That's your community, that's your kids. This is their artwork, and we're not gonna stop there. We're gonna continue to do this more. And we're gonna do more contests and put more money back into the community. Do you guys like this car? I mean, I didn't really hear anybody say anything. Well, I'm gonna give away something. This means so much to me and to my team, because we want to show the community that we work for you. We are here with you. We are with you every step of the way. That's the bridge between the police and the community, and if we can continue to use it that way. But this is not, like I said, this is not a police presenting the car to the community. This is the community showing the police how we should be together. That's why we are like this today. We have our artists, the hydraulics, everybody involved, their heart and souls in it. I became really, really good friends with especially these three gentlemen on stage. They all have my personal cell phone numbers, and I don't hand that out to a lot of people. And they call me, and we talk about things that they would never expect to talk to a police officer about. And they do the same thing with these three gentlemen behind me. We've had people from this community help Officer Candelaria when he had a problem in Denver, Colorado. They drove all the way out there to give him a tow. So, I mean, this is, I could go on forever. I know we got to get to a lot of people. I don't know if you have the paperwork. Here we go. So, without further ado, I want to give people recognition who deserve recognition. I want to start off by having Rob Cardenas come up to the podium. This guy right here has done the majority of all the work nobody else wanted to do, which is get in there, tear it apart, put it all back together. Every single time I call him with something, he's like, I got it, Sarge, I got it, Sarge. I had no idea how much work goes into these cars. I had no idea. You think, oh, that's cool, they got little rims on a car. You don't know. There is so much. I call this guy, he's like, yeah, I was here till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and then he shows me his cameras, and there he is, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, working on the car. Rob, I love you, man. I love you for doing what you've done. Your crew, you are an ambassador to this community. Let me explain something. Every time I went to his shop, it wasn't just him working on it. Leroy, where are you at, Leroy? Come up here, man. You need to be up here as well. These guys have their kids teaching them that we need to do right, and that's what we need to do in this community is get with our youth and let them know that crime doesn't pay. You know, the old McGruff thing, crime doesn't pay. We have a plaque for you for Show Off Automotive, and everybody involved is going to get a t-shirt. So if you want to head that way, we're going to get t-shirts for you, and we have a pack for you too, Leroy. So if you guys, because of what your involvement was with this, if you want to say a couple words and why you decided to do this, because like I said, let me explain something to you. This is not just somebody that we paid. He donated over $8,000 to this project. $8,000. He didn't ask for a dime to do all the work that nobody else wanted to do. He ripped this car apart. He had so many parts in this car. I didn't know they had that many parts. Every little thing. I mean, for you to turn that interior the way it was, the whole thing had to come apart. The hydraulics, everything, he's taken them in and out like 4 different times at this work, and he hasn't asked me for any money. I owe him $1. I don't even have $1 on me. I still owe it to you. I'll probably owe it to him forever. But you'll get your money, man. We're good for it. Don't tell the counselor that I owe you money, though. That's how much you wanted is $1. So,
Thank you, guys. Yeah, this car's been well, I can't even say that right now, but I am. But I mean, a lot of people don't understand what it takes to do these cars. I mean, we're a crew of 2. There's only body guy, painter, everything, and I mean, we had my club help, but through this whole process, I was kind of, I don't know. You know what I mean? I grew up in the streets, and you're not really friendly with the cops. You know, cops ain't really friendly. I'm not the greatest looking person in the world to be messing with cops. But this project changed my perspective of these guys. Hands down.
Our relationship is past what it's supposed to be. I mean,
I don't know. I'm proud to be a part of it because it's for my kids. My kids are growing up in this community just like the rest of you guys. I want my kids to be able to not have problems down the lane. My car's right there, my brother's car. We do this. This is our life. This is what we do every day. We build lowriders, and why not build it for the city? So, thank you guys. Yeah, appreciate it.
Next person we want to recognize is Mr. Rob Vanderflies. He was the amazing artist that put all the paintwork together for this vehicle. He donated over $3,500 of his own money to make this project possible. And we want to recognize him. It's an amazing artist. I couldn't be more happy with the way the work came out. And we just want to thank you all. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts and recognize you today. If you want to speak, say a few words, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely, there was a lot of people that worked on this car. And I know, it's hard to remember everybody on there. But, as far as paint work, the custom work, the artists, of course, and of course Blast, Joseph Leyva did all the police. He did the silver leaf, the spun. He did all of the pinstriping, and I did all the pattern work. So everything you see besides the police lettering, I did that besides the mural and the autism badge. And just to be a part of this, coming from my past, I'm a 3-time convicted felon. 10 years clean from crystal meth. And if it wasn't for the police actually arresting me the times that I got arrested and me going to jail with possession of crystal amphetamine, I wouldn't be clean right now. And of course, it was Jesus Christ after that's keeping me clean. But like I say, these guys truly do. My daughter over here, she's an activities coordinator over at West Mesa Community Center, and she invited this whole unit to go to the community center to speak with these kids. And just like Officer Middleton said, a lot of these kids are afraid of the police. They asked them when they first came, "Are you the ones that arrested my mom and dad?" And through this whole process of them being afraid the first time they came to right now, they can't wait for them to come every Thursday. These kids have a whole other outlook on the police. And what it all boils down to, like I always say, there's bad people in the lowrider community and there's bad people in the police community. It all comes down to a heart condition. So, like I say, it's just an honor to be a part of this, and everybody that truly put 100% into this car. And I hope it truly does continue to bridge a gap in the lowrider community. This city needs revival in more ways than one. So just a pleasure to be a part of it. Yep.
One thing real quick about Rob, about that paint job. Some of the detail that you see in between, he started that car on fire on purpose. And he showed me a video and it scared me half to death. So he said, "I'm being paid to burn a car." I mean, a cop car at that. Okay, so we're gonna try to move this along. The next one is for our youth artist winner, Kaylin Flores. If you could come up, please. So this young lady, her artwork is actually the mural on the hood of the car. She's the recipient of a $5,000 scholarship donated to us by Nucinda Credit Union. They weren't able to make it here today, but I want to give a special thanks to Nucinda Credit Union. They set up accounts for students for them to have a scholarship. And one of the things you're going to learn throughout this presentation is that we are going to continue to put money back into our community and our youth by doing scholarship programs for these kids. And she's the first recipient of $5,000, and she will not be the last. If you could just want to say a couple things.
Thank you. I just want to start by saying thank you to everyone involved and for letting me be involved. When I saw the flyer for this opportunity, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, but here I am a year later, standing before you guys with my art on the hood of that car, as well as all the artists that are featured within the car. It's incredible. My hoop just fell off. We're good. But it's incredible to see how far this car has come and to see how incorporated the community is within it. It really is something that united us all, and I can say as a youth that it's really opened my eyes to a better understanding of everything that's going on within the police department and within our culture. So I just want to say thank you to everyone.
All right, next one we want to recognize is Mr. John Granger from MHQ. All the lighting, the wrap work, decal, custom, rear back seats, over $15,000 worth of material was donated to help put this together. And he's an integral part of making this happen. We want to recognize him and give him a chance to say a couple words.
Thank you very much. This was a very fulfilling project. Started about a year and a half ago. A lot of my team members put their heart and soul into the graphics, the warning lights in the car that you see. We have to give a shout out to Federal Signal Corporation. They donated the lights that are on the car. And it was great working with Larry and his crew through the whole project. Very fulfilling. Thank you.
Oh man, I could go on for hours about every one of these people. When you become friends with these people, it's amazing when you work with. Oh man, sorry, I'm starting to get choked up. Next, I would like Lorenzo Otero, if he's around, to come up. Lorenzo, come on up. You guys know him as House. House has been a part of this project all the way back to the cruising task force with Councilor Peña, as mentioned. And when we need something done, we call house, and he knows who to call. And then it happens, and we don't ask any questions. He just makes it happen. I say he's the glue. So this is a small token of appreciation. House, thank you so much. If you would like to say a couple words.
Just that it takes a community to raise a village. Together, all the car clubs, people, gente, we all been doing this for a long time, so I think just all of us coming together for a common goal to make people happy and to understand that we can all live in unison and have a good time and just be happy. Thank you.
Next, we'd like to recognize Ken Montoya and Top Auto Body. This car doesn't just stand up on its on the back; it actually bounces. It's a true lowrider, and that was made possible by Ken Montoya and his peeps at Top Auto Body, and we just really appreciate they really jumped in on this project from the get-go. And they rolled with it, and we couldn't be happier with the way the work came out. We thank you, Ken, and all your people. Appreciate it. Let's take a couple words. Go ahead.
It's hard to follow after everybody else sees, but as they say, it is really bridging the gap between the cops and us. Back in the early 90s, we used to really it was just a misunderstanding, I guess. It comes back to say is they didn't understand what we were trying to do, and we weren't understanding what they were trying to do. But as this project came along, we're pretty much getting on the same page with each other. And that's what it's all about. Thank you for letting us be part of the project.
I'm going to jump in real quick because I know someone has to leave. I just want to recognize Charisse Quesada again. She's the one that wrote the script for the little video that we did, and I know they're having to leave to another appointment. So thank you, Charisse, for everything. Appreciate it.
Okay, in the interest of time and to give everybody a little break so you guys could actually check out the car we're here to see and all the other awesome cars. The rest of the individuals I'm going to call up and just give you some recognition if you really feel like you have something to say. But if not, I'm just going to get you guys your plaque and then you can go get a t-shirt. First on the list, and there's no particular order here, is Blast Factory Paintwork. He did all the detailing and worked with Kaylin to do the front of the hood and the silver leaf, like you heard Vanderslice say. Next, King of the Streets, Fernando Ortega and Isaac Lerma, if they're here. Okay, Ken is going to take his. Okay, next is the TRSC trailer rental. We have been, the reason why you guys haven't seen it is because this rental company has been letting us use an enclosed trailer and take it all over the city. So I would like to say thank you to them. They're not here today, but they've donated over $1,400. Okay. Okay, and then with that, the only reason why we were able to get into the car and on that trailer is because of Johnny Peña. I'd like to thank Johnny Peña. He used his own personal vehicle, his own gas, and got underneath the car. He hid. There he comes. Here he comes. But Johnny is, thank you so much. Next, and I want to spend a special thank you to S&V Auto because last time I missed them in the last awards ceremony. And this car wouldn't be moving if it wasn't for them. They donated a transmission and over $1,700 worth of stuff. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. And you can go get a t-shirt over there as well. In the interior, the front interior that you see is Floyd's Upholstery. Floyd Maldonado, and about $3,500 worth of work was donated for that car, the front that you see there. Is anybody here from Floyd? Okay, Rob, if you could take it for him. Okay, Nicinda Credit Union, who was not able to be here today, donated a $5,000 scholarship for the art winner and has helped set up scholarship accounts. The West Central Community Development Group, If we can get a representative from the West Central, Luis, he's our MC, and these guys are instrumental in getting everybody all the little details that we never think about, the water and the food and everything like that. So I just want to say thank you so much, Luis. Next is O'Reilly's. O'Reilly's Auto Part. Is anybody here from O'Reilly's? O'Reilly's Auto Part has donated thus far $4,000 in miscellaneous parts for this vehicle. Next, AutoZone. Is anybody from AutoZone? We have a representative from AutoZone. So far, with AutoZone, they've donated over $1,000 worth of miscellaneous parts for this vehicle. TransStar Paint. TransStar Paint donated the clear coat paint and paint materials up to $4,000. And they're not here as well, but that's okay. Rob, if you want to grab their plaque. If I can get somebody from Fatty Customs and Detailing. Come on, Fatty. He's not what I expected. I really did expect. So if you could get this, thank you. He's the one who detailed the lowrider and is going to continue to help detailing it. They were out here this morning with us at 6:30, making a thing sparkle like it does. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Baca Automotive, Robert Hernandez. Thank you. Where's you guys back here? Every time we were working, I always saw him at the shop, and I want to say thank you so much. You did put a lot of work into this vehicle, and I want to give you where credit's due. And you got over $3,000 into this vehicle, including the rims that you see. So thank you so much for that. Yeah. Next is the thanks for all the kiddos who helped with the filming that you guys, if you go to Klarissa Peña's Facebook page. One of the kids actually is my own daughter. She's probably going to be too shy to stand up, but my kid's over there. Want to say thank you to them. Westside Speech Academy. Is there somebody from Westside Speech Academy? Okay, they weren't able to make it, but they gave a donation for an honorable mention. Our honorable mention is this young lady back here in the pink. Her amazing artwork is displayed on the driver's side rear of the vehicle. She is our honorable mention. And it is an honor to have your artwork on the vehicle. Thank you so much for that. Loyal Ones Car Club. If we can get one of the Loyal One Car Club members, they donated $3,700 for the sound system and installation and everything. So, yeah. Can you come on this side? You gotta get a photo. You guys get a photo with them? All right. Commander. Okay. Frank Chavez, if Frank Chavez is here, he's been a partnership from the very beginning and helping us. He's kind of like another house. He's been able to point us in the right direction of who we should talk to. So Frank Chavez. We got a plaque for you and you get a t-shirt. APD Fleet actually donated this car. There is going to be a little barcode that you guys can go to the website. It has the history and every picture that we've taken with all the kids and the events and stuff. And this car was actually donated as it was a red line vehicle that was no longer in commission, because that's how it started. So I want to say thank you to the APD Fleet. Next is the West Mesa High School, the the mechanic shop. They did the oil change and has donated a lot of fluids for this vehicle. Anybody from La Familia here? La Familia Car Club? I know Robert was. He might have went back to his car. Awesome. We got a plaque for your car club for being a part of this. They've been with us at all the community events, and they are a big role player in the community.
If I could just add about La Familia, I just want to say that, you know, that's the organization that my husband was part of many, many years ago. I think they were one of the early car clubs in the city of Albuquerque. And I just want to say that, you know, they were doing a lot of this community policing work long before. So I just want to extend my gratitude to them and really appreciate all the work that they've done throughout the years.
Okay, next is the Duke's Car Club. The same thing, the Duke's Car Club has been a part of our shows. They're at the end there. They might not be able to hear me. We got a Duke's representative right here. Awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of the Lowrider and the Youth Leadership Program. Okay. And another special thanks to Sean Peña. He's the one who actually decided to design these t-shirts. I want to say thank you to him. He's not here. Let me see. Drifters Car Club. Is anybody from the Drifters? Drifters were part of the original film that you guys saw when we were trying to get people. Okay, they're still on their way. But okay, Rollers Only. Anybody from Rollers Only? House? Can you guys use it? Another special thanks to the general manager of John Traub from Isotopes. We were a part of the Lowrider night when we first brought the car on a trailer before it even was able to move around. And they kind of brought that to light. So I don't believe he's here, but I want to throw out a special thanks. Jeff Hertz, artwork and the photos. Jeff, are you here, Jeff? Where are you at? The short guy back there. Come on, Jeff, come to the front. This guy did a lot of the artwork you see. He does the photos, and a lot of the pictures you're going to see on that website you see, he's part of it. So thank you, Jeff. Julian Moya. Julian, he's the guy who filmed it. His favorite picture in the world is him standing on top of a cop car. He was so excited he was able to do that. So I have a picture of him. It's his favorite picture, he says. And then if I can get Rachel Hernandez up here. Rachel is amazing. This girl calls me like 300 times a day and makes sure that we were able to do this. This wouldn't be possible. Today's event wouldn't be possible without her stressing probably half as much as I did.
Okay, I want to say that's a fib. He called her 300 times a day.
It did. Okay, so that is the people that we have recognized with one exception. There's another surprise, and ma'am, this is for you. You are the only reason this happened. You are a part of this community. I absolutely love being in the Southwest because this is your family. You love this community, and you deserve something. And I want to show it to you first, and then I'm going to show it to all you guys because you guys are going to have a chance to buy this thing, okay? That one. So we, MHQ, thank you so much to MHQ, made something very special for her. This is a very limited edition, and the reason why we unveiled the Lowrider early, actually.
We just want to say thank you from the Southwest Area Command, from the bottom of our hearts, for sponsoring and making this event possible. And she gets the first custom model of the Lowrider. We do have a second one that will be raffled off today. They're $5 a piece for raffle. All proceeds are going to go to the Youth Leadership Program. But Councilor Peña, we couldn't thank you enough. We love you, and this is for you.
Before she talks, I just want to say that it took everything, and I know we wanted to take this so bad. This thing is amazing. That is so cool. That's the exact replica of the car. If you guys are interested, where is that? So, we thought that we would like to do one for the community that a community member could have. This thing is going to be raffled off. We're going to be working with West Central, which is a nonprofit organization. Where are you at, Luis? He's going to have the raffle tickets, $5 a piece. I guarantee you I'm buying 4 of them because I want this thing really bad. I know I get to drive the real thing, but this is amazing. So thank you guys so much. MHQ, that is amazing. That is, I don't, when they showed it to me, I'm like, how did you guys do that? Like, it's awesome. I can go on forever. Thank you guys so much for coming. We still have the drive-thru event starting in about 30 minutes, but if you guys want to take a look at the car, now's the chance to do that. Please be mindful when you're looking around not to hit the other cars. These are very expensive paint jobs on these cars, so go ahead, please.
I actually just did, and I realized that earlier, I think I was telling Rachel about it yesterday, and then she ironically happened to be here today, but I was telling Rachel that there's somebody who's been part of the car culture for a long time who deserve recognition, and I don't have the plaque ready for her, but I want to thank Sue. Sue, thank you for all you've done as part of this, and we're going to get you your plaque and your t-shirt now, so okay? Thank you everyone for being here. Let's make this a wonderful day, and thanks for everything. This is all about you guys, so thank you.
Before we kick off the music and have a party,